Hello and welcome to Trinity University here in San Antonio, Texas, as we will have the Trinity University Tigers and the Berry Vikings. And we are just about ready for kickoff here. And it'll be Trinity kicking away to the ninth-ranked team in the country. Squib kick to start, and that one will unfortunately roll out of bounds for the Tigers, drawing the penalty flag. And we'll set up Berry with great field position to start.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be a good one for sure. The Tigers coming off that 14-0 victory over Austin College last Saturday, a shutout win. So we'll see if the Tigers defense can stay locked down against a really strong Berry offense that scored 61 earlier this year in a game against Austin. So really explosive offense that the Tigers are up to deal with today.
Yeah, Berry, top 10 ranked team, depending on which poll you look at, ranked either 9th or 11th. They are 9-0 here in the SAA, and they have already clinched the top spot in the automatic bid to the NCAA playoffs. Right now, they are just working on a potential 10-0 season and a potential home field advantage for that first-round game. And that ball,
good pressure there. It looked like a fumble. The ball is out. Not sure if they're going to call that an incomplete pass or a fumble. It looked like it was a fumble. There's certainly an encouraging sign to see that at the beginning of the game, almost forcing a turnover there.
Yep.
Let's take another look at that. Little play fake there. Not a whole lot of time for the quarterback to get anything going there. And, you know, this Berry College team, as you said already, undefeated on the year. And last year defeated Trinity 24-21. So, you know, the Tigers were very much in that game, as they have been for almost all games of this season.
Yeah, Trinity only 3 losses on the season. They come in at 6-3. They lost to a top 10 ranked Hardin-Simmons in the home opener by a score of 42-33, as Adcock looks, fires, and delivers, finds his receiver, and that'll be just a few yards short of a first down. That'll bring up 3rd and short for Berry here on the opening drive. And for Trinity, 2 conference losses, of course, that Millsaps game. The last time we were here at Trinity Stadium, we lost 10-7 on a as regulation expired field goal from the Majors. They took that one in the first conference game of the season. As Adcock pitches out to C.J. Stone, and he's going to pick up the first down, extending the drive for the Vikings. And then Tigers losing at Center. Center, the second-ranked team here in the conference. They're sitting at 8-1 on the season.
Yeah, you know, there's never really a game that you can say isn't meaningful, but when you look back to that 10-7 loss you're talking about against Millsaps, the field conditions were really ugly. I mean, just absolutely nothing going for either offense. Really, a large part of that was due to the conditions and not really a true testament to how Trinity's played over the course of this year. Just really a sloppy game.
A sloppy game on a sloppy field, and we've got a much better field here, but we will see as this game goes along to see just how it performs. We had quite a lot of rain the last 2 days, giving us a little cause for concern. As Adcock, you can see him slipping right there. He's being chased down, and the tackle coming for the Tigers. That's Nick Hover, and Hover with the tackle that makes it, I believe.
No, that's a fourth. Yeah, I guess we
down.
Missed a penalty on the
So
last
the
run.
penalty on the run, it was called for holding.
Yeah, it looked like
and
it.
that backed Berry up. So that was 3rd and 12 once again, and it'll bring up 4th and about 3.
Really a competent showing so far in that opening sequence from the Tiger defense, not conceding a whole lot. There was that little screen pass that set them up for the 3rd and 2, but aside from that, I mean, just good, clean football.
Will Kenworthy punting it away, and that's going to be fielded by the Tigers, and with a little bit of room to run, and out past the 36-yard line.
Wow.
And that is a specialist for the Tigers.
Looks like that was Chris Stewart, one of their best receivers on the team, and really made something out of nothing. It looked like that punt may have been doomed from the start, as there was one Berry player out there to cover it. I mean, it was a pretty well-kicked punt, and he just was able to cut that one back and create a little space, and after that, I mean, there was just no slowing him down. So it looks like they will start at about the 36.
So 36 for Wyatt Messick and crew, and Messick's joined in the backfield by Evan McDowell, and it's going to be a play-action pass there from Messick, and that one batted down by the Berry defense.
Yeah, that last home game we saw here from the Tigers, not really a true home game considering it was played across the road there at Alamo Stadium, but they used they used Wyatt Messick and Blake Johnson. You know, they kind of swapped them out there. Blake Johnson more of a runner, Wyatt Messick the true passing quarterback, and I'm interested to see if they go back to some of that strategy today as we see the game play itself out.
That was Alex Kirkendall on the pass deflection for the Vikings. 2nd and 10. The handoff will go to McDowell, and that is a swarm of Vikings on the tackle. And I think notably there, Bryson Lamboy, the senior from Cave Springs, Georgia, stopping the Tigers short. That'll bring 3rd and 11 and a potential passing situation for the Tigers. Passing, Adam Levine leading the team has 44 receptions for 566 yards. Chris Stewart has 35 receptions for 619 yards. But Levine, 9 touchdowns on the season. We saw 3 of those.
Yeah, we saw the hat trick against Sewanee there from Levine. Wyatt Messick and Levine just working as that tandem unit there. As we get a little bit of time here for Messick to throw. It looks like he has room to maybe run it a bit. And finally does decide to make that throw down the sideline. And, you know, on the run game side of things here, I talked to Jay Foster a few days before the game, as we know, the Tigers' senior running back, and he says that his teammates call him the Viking Slayer because last year he went off for over 100 yards and a touchdown against this Barry team. I mean, obviously some players have graduated, may not be the exact same roster they're dealing with, but if they can get him involved in the game, just, you know, that'd be really an added strength considering they've really gone mostly to McDowell all year.
And that was a 20-yard pass completion from Wyatt Messick to Cash Crane, and that has the Tigers set up at the 45-yard line going in.
Good little play fake there.
And that'll be called for
holding. Hold on 74 on the Tiger offense. It's deflected anyway. It looked like they booked Brady Blanton, the senior. It looked like he held on that one. We'll get the official word there, but it looked like a pretty clear call there by the official.
Yeah, and that one you could kind of see right as the play was developing, and kind of took all the excitement away from that heave down to Levine.
Yeah, we'll see that again there.
And there it is.
Grab that jersey
had him by the backside, kind of grabbing the jersey as he ran by him.
I mean, you never want to see a penalty, but Messick was in some real trouble there. So, I mean, worst case scenario, you turn that over.
Whoa.
Wow.
And that will offset, and the roughing the passer call on the tail end of it saves Trinity.
Yeah, sorry, did not mean to talk over that one, but we do get the word there, and interesting call there. I mean, for sure, it looked like the Tigers were going to take about a 10-yard hit on that one, but fortunately, they're just going to, I guess, replay the down there, or just call it an incomplete pass. We'll see what happens.
It'll be 1st and 10 once
like
again. So that play just did not happen, and that's unfortunate for Barry because you get the automatic holding call, and then Trinity escapes with the passing interference.
Really no point in
the roughing the passer.
Yeah, there's no point once you see that flag initially come down. I mean, it's a busted play as long as you don't commit any penalties. If you're the defense, you get just a free, opportunity to force a turnover there. And really, we didn't get to mention it because the play was dead, but good coverage there to deflect that ball away. It would have been probably within the 10-yard line if that ball had been caught. A good throw from Messick, just pretty good coverage on it.
And that last pass sailing out of bounds, and the defensive line for the Vikings giving the Tigers offensive line a bit of trouble as McDowell will probably gain 1.5 yards. It looks like maybe they'll officially give him 2. The defensive line already with 2 pass breakups on Messick's throws, and Messick comes in listed at 5'7", so if they can get their arms up, then they've got a good chance to disrupt the Trinity passing game. Where he's going to be dangerous is when he's able to escape the tackle box and get outside, find a little bit of room, get some wide open field in front of him so he can deliver those passes.
Yeah,
got trips to the right.
With all that traffic there, not a whole lot to create. So we bring up 3rd and 9. Looked like defense jumped the line there. And, this Barry team, definitely, we've seen so far their defense for the year has been really good. They shut out Austin College in that one. We'll get the word on the penalty. Oh, it's on the offense. So that'll set Trinity back. 14 to go for the first now.
So 3rd and 14 for Trinity.
But, yeah, Barry, shut out Austin College 61-0. And then 2 curious games here, 42-35 and 38-35 victories, one at Rhodes and one at Center for this Barry team, really uncharacteristic of them to allow so many points, but they were still able to get the job done. So if Trinity can get a shootout going here, it might be in the Tigers' favor. We got a 3rd and 14 situation here.
And that is Cash Crane once again over the middle, and I think that extra lone forward is going to extend the drive for Trinity.
I think it does. I think they're going to spot that as a first down. It looked like it was a good spot.
Yeah, just had to get over the 35-yard line.
Let's see that play again here. Good blocking there.
Nice job. Great catch by Cash Crane over
right
the middle.
There,
and he didn't have it there, and right there, that extra push getting
yeah.
over the 35 extends the drive. Fantastic individual effort from Cash Crane, and that is 2 receptions on the day for him, 35 yards.
Man, they're just getting nothing going on the ground here, and I'm surprised they didn't give him some sort of mercy there with the forward progress. They really let him take a beating. Looked like the runner on that play, I believe it was Jay Foster that time.
Yeah, Jay Foster, that's going to be officially a loss of 4.
Yeah.
And so 2nd and 14 for Trinity. Barry's defensive line has done a great job disrupting the pass and limiting the run so far. We are just over 6 minutes into this contest. And Barry with effectively a 3-and-out. They had a penalty on a play that gave them a first down and then could not convert after that. And so Tigers fielding a great punt with Chris Stewart on a 24-yard return, setting them up in good field position, and 2 clutch 3rd down receptions by Cash Crane. And they're going to need another one as Messick has dropped the Tigers out of field goal position by
didn't
falling.
Like that decision-making there from Messick as the pressure was on him. I mean, you don't, of course, want to throw the ball up in a double coverage where it could get picked off, but so we get another look at that one there. Kind of circled his way back into that sack. Really a humongous loss there as it brings up, I believe, 3rd and 26. So if the Tigers have some work to do if they want to even get it back to a reasonable field goal range here, probably need about 15 more yards or so.
Austin Perry for Barry with the sack. And it'll be a draw play to McDowell, and he's going to gain only about 3.5, and so that'll bring out the punt team. And curious move. I don't know if you're playing for field position just yet, but it does prevent you from having a play that maybe takes you out of the opportunity to pin Barry deep here. So we'll see what Barry's return game looks like. And it'll be Trey Gregory, or excuse me, it'll be.
It's a decent kick there. It looks like they're going to signal for the fair catch. I mean, you know, going back to that play, I don't know if that's one of those things where you're just trying to catch the defense totally off guard, but with 26 yards to go, I mean, even if you get 5 or 6 more yards out of that play, unlikely you get a first down or even within field goal range. So, you know, really a questionable decision from the offensive coordinator there. But
and it will be Ranazeski's kick inside the 6-yard line. That will help the Tiger defense here. And Trinity's defense has looked fantastic all season long. They're only allowing 15.2 points per game. Barry just under 16 points allowed per game as well. So don't expect this one to be a super high-scoring game. You know, that may change, but Trinity's defense has been one of the staples for the Tigers in the past 3 or 4 years, and they have continued that so far through the 2018 campaign.
Yeah, barring any unforeseen circumstances, I don't expect this game to get above, you know, maybe 21, 28 points for either of these teams. So,
yeah, Barry coming in averaging nearly 40, I believe, at 38.6 per game. Trinity just under 26.7, I believe. And so about 4 touchdowns a game for them. And that pass complete out to the wideout on the right side. That's number 13, Cade Kennemore. And Kennemore, the first year from South Pittsburgh, Tennessee. A lot of young players here getting the nod for Barry.
Yeah, that's something we've noticed in a lot of these games this year. A lot of teams are trying different formations, different players out against the Tigers. We saw in the Sewanee game, not their usual quarterback. They deployed a freshman quarterback.
And Kennemore again from Adcock. And that will go for a Barry first down. And that'll be their second of the day.
Yeah, but you have Adcock there, the senior quarterback. Looks like he knows what he's doing. He's definitely been here in this situation before. And, you know, with a 9-0 record, why wouldn't you have the confidence that this kid has?
So 1st and 10 from the 38. It's going to be a rush. And a fumble at the very end. We'll see who comes up with it.
Looked like Trinity may have picked that one up. I just don't know if the knee was down before the ball came out. I believe Trinity did pick that one up. It looks like all the Tigers players are signaling for it. We'll see.
Well, the side judge came in and put up 2, so that indicates second down.
Oh, wow. He
so that ball was out, and it looks like diving in there from the left side would have recovered for Barry.
I thought Aaron Hale on the Tigers, it looked like he may have had a good shot at it. That was number 59 there at the front of your screen on that replay for the Tigers, just unable to get it. But after looking at that replay, the ball definitely did come out before the runner was down. So good job tackling, really.
Yeah, Joey Connors officially 8 yards before the forced fumble by Robert Cooney. And I'm going to say recovered by Connors. So Adcock with a little bit of trouble holding his feet, but it sends it down deep, and that's going to be intercepted by Hover. And he's down right there at the 21-yard line. And the Tiger defense, as we mentioned, coming up strong once again.
Yeah, Nick Hover especially coming up strong once again. In the last game against Austin College, had 2 interceptions, I believe. There was another one by Eddie Luna, who we have yet to see so far in this one. But Nick Hover has had a really great season all around. I mean, had that game against Sewanee where he had the interception to seal that one, and he's just been playing really good football. I believe that's at least his 4th, got to be at least his 4th interception on the season. Don't know if we can get those statistics up for you just yet.
That is his 4th interception on the season. He came in with just 3 interceptions with for only 2 yards. That one's not going to net him anymore, so that's now 4 for 2 yards. He's getting half a yard return on his interceptions, but those interceptions coming up huge for the defense. Evan McDowell with a sweep out from his right to left, and he might be able to gain about 2 yards there. And that's one thing we haven't seen yet, Trinity's run game able to establish itself.
I was just about to say that's going to be a problem if this trend continues throughout the game. I mean, they've been trying all sorts of formations and schemes on the ground, none of which have found a hole yet. I mean, they've been doing runs to the outside, a few play fakes, a few just straight runs down the middle, and nothing has really seemed to be giving them that hole that they've been looking for. But they generously give them 4 on that one, so it'll bring up 2nd and 6.
So motion. We'll give the Tigers 2 to the right. That one thrown over the middle, and it will fall incomplete. And that'll bring up 3rd and 6 for Trinity.
If I'm Trinity here, I'm looking for Cash Crane yet again on the sideline. We'll see if that's what they elect to go with. But, you know, he's been a consistent option so far in this one. He already has 2 grabs for he's already got them a few first downs on those 2 catches. So we'll see if they go back to him or if they elect some of the already known receivers like Levine or Chris Stewart even.
Yeah, I'm sure that Coach Urban would love to get Levine ready to go into this game. That one off the back foot, and that
doesn't
pass
look like it was caught, but we'll see.
I'm going to say complete.
Oh.
Yes, and a first down. So we'll get another look at this. Messick went over the middle, off his back foot, and a fantastic reception there. And that is Austin Burtness, a freshman from Richmond, Texas.
Wow, good low throw there, getting it through the defense there. Almost a little bit too low as that one almost came and hit the ground. But, you know, get that first down here as we approach just about 4 minutes left in the first quarter. Still deadlocked at 0.
So both quarterbacks with a little bit of trouble with their plant foot. And there's Levine. Nice little out route, and that'll go quickly for a couple of yards. And anything you can do to get him involved into the game, and he will extend the field later for you. As I mentioned, 9 touchdowns on the season for Levine, his first catch today.
Yeah, he averages 12.9 yards per reception. Really an outstanding figure considering he's averaging them a first down every time he catches the football. Gets him 5 on that one as they're approaching the 40, about the 40-yard line.
So McDowell, and he's got room up the middle, still going. Gets the block from Levine and eventually going to be brought down by Daryl Mims. And Mims really the last one, the senior defensive back, the last one for the Vikings that could have stopped McDowell from putting the first points on the board of this game.
And that's something we wanted to see. That's something we've been waiting for this whole time. Finally, a nice burst out on the run there. A good block from Levine at the end to give him that extra 8 or so yards.
And back to live action as McDowell once again plunging ahead for about 5 yards. And the Tiger offense really in rhythm right now. And they're going to go no huddle on Barry's defense. Messick once again hands off to McDowell. And with the high tackle up around the neck area was number 15, J.R. Sandoya. And the junior linebacker from Alpharetta will keep the Tigers back to a 3rd down, and it'll be 3rd and about 3, I believe. It might say officially 2. But McDowell, as I said, was tackled around the neck area, and he's getting a little bit of treatment right now.
Looks like we might see Jay Foster out there, but hopefully McDowell's all right. I like the idea there of the no-huddle offense. You know, the offense is really cooking there, trying to catch the defense off guard, and it looks like McDowell will hobble off the field under his own power. Always a good sight to see. So Jay Foster is now out there, number 1 on the field there, a senior running back. See if he can slay some Vikings again this year. You know what he did to them last year. So we'll bring up 3rd and 3 at about the 15-yard line. I mean, worst case scenario, you don't get the first down here and you still get a field goal out of this. You just can't turn it over here. I mean, that's really the main thing.
So Messick's out of shotgun, has Stewart to his left, Levine to his right. And an extra up back and a tight end. Handoff to Foster. And there's a flag that comes in immediately. And the way that came in, that's either going to be a quick hold,
could be a hold,
or it could be an illegal formation. Because that came in as the ball was
snapped. It looked like a hold there from number
right there from the center
56, I believe. It looked like Patrick Quintana was holding. We'll see.
Obviously, Trinity at this point in the season, this is basically their final game. They don't have anything to, beyond this week. This is their playoff game. You think they probably just go for it.
So a little bit of confusion with the down marker. Still at the.
They decline the penalty, and you can listen in the booth next to us to the Barry radio announcers, and they're thinking that Trinity, would go for it on 4th down and about 1, and. I would agree with them on that. I think, you got the home crowd behind you. This is an SAA game. It looks like the last game on the schedule here for Trinity. And 4th and 2, I guess I think they'll go for it. We'll see who they bring out there.
And I wonder, too, you see the field right there, right about that 20-yard line. It looks a little bit of choppy.
Yeah.
For field goal kicker, it's going to be a little hard getting your footing. So Barry scrambles, and Messick rolls out. He's going to have a couple of choices, and intercepted, and a fantastic interception by number 3, Kevin Greer. And Greer, the interceptions, it's as good as a deflection. It actually probably helps Trinity because the interception backs Barry up a little bit more. But what a fantastic defensive effort.
You can't blame a guy for wanting to pad his stats and get the interception, and really just football instinct to make that catch. But honestly hurt the Vikings, as you said.
It'll back them up just a little bit, but you also, if you try to deflect it and the ball stays up in the air, you never know what will happen. And you got a chance to take that one. So Adcock with the handoff. And that'll be up the middle to Dawson, and Isaiah Dawson, another sophomore on offense for the Vikings.
Now, I'm not sure, if Messick had room to run for those 2 yards. It looked like initially as the play started, maybe he did, but then again, he did have to drop back to even get that much space, so probably would have needed more than 2 to actually get that ground.
Yeah, and it looked like a play where I think that they had so much confusion. Barry was late getting over to the far side, and it'll be Dawson once again sweeping around and eventually pushed out of bounds after a first down. Messick's probably looked. He had a receiver underneath, and then it looked like he had Stewart a little bit over there. But just what a fantastic closing effort by Greer to take that one away. And if you're Messick's, I think you look, you got 2 guys open, and just unfortunately not able to complete the pass there.
Yeah, it looks like we'll bring up 3rd down here. But, first. Scoreboard had it wrong again, so another first down here for Barry. Looks like that play just busted from the start. And, that's kind of the issue with having so many good receivers is you sometimes throw balls that you shouldn't be throwing just because, you overestimate the ability of your really good receivers to make those plays, even if there's a lot of coverage there. So might have been a symptom of that, just trusting Stewart so much that you just throw the ball up there and hope he brings it down.
As that will probably be, or this will probably be the last play of the first quarter. You see the last 10 seconds here ticking away. So barring an incomplete pass from Adcock. And there it is, incomplete pass from Adcock. So 4 seconds left. We'll now probably have the final play of the first quarter.
Let's pause on that one. It looks like Shea Soyebo, the junior defensive lineman, is down on the ground there. I don't know what happened to him on that play. Yes, that is pronounced Shea. His name's spelled S-E-Y-I, but he goes by Shea Soyebo. So just making sure we're getting that one right on the air. But he's down back there, the trainer out to look at him.
All right, we'll take another look at Greer's INT from earlier here. Or excuse me, this is going to be Hover's INT. And see Adcock slip as he let it go. He had triple coverage, and just a poor choice to let that one go. But I think when you slip on a play like that, if he's able to get that ball out in front, he might have a chance at the completion. But Nick Hover with the 4th interception of the season. And then that drive obviously led to an opportunity for the Tigers after a 39-yard run from Evan McDowell.
Yeah, that gutsy play call there to have Adcock really air that one out there for the Vikings. And I'm not all that opposed to it. As we've talked about all game long, both these defenses have been really stingy all year. And to take a deep hit like that, if you're successful, that's a quick score you can get up there rather than having to test the defense over and over and over again. So we will have that last play of the quarter, as you just mentioned.
We'll have to check on Sayebo as the second quarter comes back around to see if he re-enters. And for now, 3rd and 10 for Tate Adcock and the Berry Vikings. Still 0-0 here as we complete the first quarter. And Adcock chasing, running away from the chase, and eventually for the Tigers, it'll be Cale Ridge saving the day, and that will go for a first down as we have completed 1 quarter of action here between Trinity and Berry. We're still scoreless, and we'll be back in just a moment. All right, and welcome back as we are just about ready for the start of the second quarter. It'll be Berry on offense, and you see the totals there for the first half. I believe that was for about 13 minutes. It looks like the stats that we link into have paused with about 1:47 left to go in the first quarter. So that caught most of the stats up until the very end there for Berry and Trinity.
Yeah, definitely an encouraging quarter for Trinity. I mean, Berry has dominated all of their opponents all year, and it's still 0-0. It's anyone's game, and really the Tigers have looked like the better team at a lot of points in this game, especially in that opening defensive sequence, and then that forced fumble later on that Trinity almost recovered. Then they got the interception, so it's just been a lot of defensive chances here for Trinity, and I wouldn't be surprised to see another interception or another fumble coming up.
And that was C.J. Stone on the run, and gained probably about 6, judging from that marker. So it'll be 2nd and 4 now.
How big was that third down, though, Tony, by Tate Adcock, that run? No one open downfield. He steps up. We don't know.
Looks like they're about the 42-yard line, making their way up toward midfield. So, Trinity just cannot allow them to get in a good field position for a field goal, or even worse, a touchdown. And beautiful tackling there.
TJ Ceresi on the reception for the Vikings. That'll be good enough for another Viking first down. You get a good look at Adcock. Nice quick release. They knew exactly what they wanted to do. Had Trinity playing off. And nice closing.
Yeah, Miesfeld there.
Ability by Miesfeld, and the senior being recognized on senior day earlier. They called out. He is a 3-time and looking for a 4th time all academic, all conference member. So fantastic on the field as Miesfeld, as well as in the classroom, and that will go for either a no gain or a loss. It looks like probably if it's a loss, it's about 6 inches. So it'll be 2nd and 10.
And I'm not sure what these stats are on the board here, because I don't think either team has 200 total yards yet. It shows up there. We look up there. It says Trinity 203 total. So not sure what that's about. But
yeah, the stats on the video board look to be a bit off today, as that pass is complete out of the backfield, and it's going to be another first down for Barry, as they look to be rolling now for the first time on their 3rd possession. And Alex Dalton, a freshman from Knoxville, Tennessee, picks that one up about 5 yards deep in the backfield. And pretty fortunate there that did not get called for holding on that one, or an illegal block downfield. But it'll be a first down for Barry as they're inside the 40 at the 38.
yeah, really dangerous time for the Trinity defense here. They look really vulnerable for the first time all day. These runs just keep piling on. Run after run play, just getting them all sorts of room over the field. Looked like that one was about 7 or 8 there, and
And that's Joey Connors. And I believe Joey Connors had the reception on the last play. Interestingly, Barry's roster has Joey Connors, a running back, and Alex Dalton, a halfback, both wearing number 23, which would be highly unusual.
Odd, yeah. He drops back here for the first pass play in a while.
And wow. And that is going to be picked off again by the Tigers. And Tate Adcock.
There's a flag down.
And that's going to be a foul on the coaching staff celebrating
maybe a
on
celebration
the field.
Or something.
The team coming out to the field. It might have been the players, might have been the coaches right there. A little unfortunate for the call, but just lost his footing here at the end, and it was a great deflection there. And intercepted by number 45 for the Tigers. And that is Cooney on the INT. We'll see if we can get the deflection on the official stats.
Yeah, we'll see what the flag is for. I think it is that celebration.
So the ball's at the 23. So they're just going to give a sideline warning to Trinity.
So nothing, I guess, really happens.
So it'll just be Trinity ball at the 23. Now, if they get another sideline warning, they will be flagged. And interesting call. I don't know if I've seen that one before, but right there at the 25-yard line is where the box ends, and that ball was picked off at the 22. So probably going to get them for stepping outside the 25. Now it's Jay Foster with room to run up the middle. And Jay Foster all the way out to the 37-yard line, officially the 36.
Celebration at the end there. Got to love Jay Foster and the charisma he brings to the field every time. And back to that interception, it was interesting. Adcock made something out of nothing there. It looked like he was going to escape, and it actually made it worse for his team in the end. Sometimes you just got to take the sack, as Foster again with a big run play. And the momentum all of a sudden just swung completely the opposite direction, just a total 180 there.
Well, Jay Foster, you might call him a Viking Slayer. You might call him Mr. November. If you remember the Austin College game last year, he took the opening play from scrimmage and went about 90 yards for the touchdown. He finished with nearly 200 on the day that day. And that was the last home game of the season in 2017. And Jay Foster, 4 rushes for 23 yards, along with 13 so far here today. And a timeout by the Tigers. That'll be their first timeout.
Yeah, with the success of McDowell all year, it's easy to forget about Jay Foster, who's really been a contributor all his own. And this Tiger team, they're 6-3, but they've really been playing better than that recently, I'd say. Granted, their opponents were Hendrix and Austin College, both of those teams just bleeding losses just all over the place. Austin College, I believe, still stuck at 1 win. Hendrix the same. But, even take it before that to the Sewanee game. Then the Center game, which was just a 5-point defeat, and Center has had a really successful season. So if you go back, the 2 games before that even, Trinity won both of those. So it was just the start to the year where they had a few losses, and then they've really gotten it together.
Officially, Messick's 3 for 5 on the day for 28 yards, has that INT. And it'll be Messick's with Jay Foster back. And Messick's keeps as Foster gets taken out on the play, and that'll be a loss of about 1 for the Tigers. So Messick's doing a great job of reading the play, but in the process gets Jay Foster lit up right there.
Yeah,
and then about a step later, he has the same fate.
It was a good fake, but it just didn't do anything. I mean, they did fake out the defense, but for what? I mean, nothing there.
Trinity's done a great job running up the middle. Haven't really been able to go side to side, and they've had a chance to get outside on Barry.
Yeah, that one
cut it back in.
Foster again to the outside. What a juke there. Foster's going to keep going. What a run from Jay Foster. My God, that little juke move he put on there was something out of Madden. You hit the little juke stick there.
And you get one more look at it here. Jay Foster.
That'll get the crowd right there. Ooh, man, good blocking on the down the sideline there from Tommy Levine. Has been really instrumental. Blocking hasn't shown a lot so far receiving-wise, but he's still contributing to the offense by being that extra blocker downfield.
Jay Foster, 31-yard run down to the 22-yard line.
Now you finally have to take advantage here. At least get 3 out of this.
Crane and Stewart to the left. And they're going to keep it with Foster, and that will be stuffed at the line. So just ruin his average after that big first down run. So we've got McDowell with a run for 39 yards earlier. He's averaging 9.2 on 6 carries. And before that run, Foster 54 yards on 5 carries. He was averaging just under 11, and his long is 31. So the Tigers, even with Wyatt Messick's sack that he had to take earlier, 96 total yards as both Foster and McDowell, 6 attempts for 55 yards each. So positive yards gained. Tigers already over 100 here with 9 minutes to go in the half. Messick drops back. That should be flagged for a hold, and it was almost picked off once again. And that was Darrell Mims on the pass deflection.
That hit there, let's see it again. I don't know. It looked kind of like a dirty hit on a defenseless receiver, but we'll take no. That was just a clean play.
It was a clean hit. He was going for the ball.
Yeah.
But the hold call that was not called on Trinity, as you saw it there on your screen, and it was Josh Izzy basically got beat on the play and just held on. And I am just shocked that we didn't see the flag come out.
Sometimes you get lucky on those ones. And the fact that we're in a 0-0 game, we've only seen 2 or 3 punts all game from just combined is just really strange.
Yeah, officially 3 interceptions. My goodness.
And, in hindsight, I don't know if you're Trinity, if you regret going for it on that 4th down last time. I think you don't regret it. I think against this sort of defense, you really have to go for it. And
there's a fumble.
Looked like a fumble.
And that's going to be recovered by Messick. And Trinity fortunate there, as I believe that was number 91 turning the corner. And that would be Limboy for the Vikings. Let's see if we can get a better look at this.
Yeah, let's see that.
Excuse me, it was going to be number 26 coming off the edge. And that is David Galloway, the sophomore linebacker. So Barry 9-0, and everybody we keep calling is either a freshman or a sophomore. This will be a 42-yard attempt.
Big chance here. Looks good. Great kick
What
there.
a kick there. Jonathan Reyes putting the Tigers up. That's number 39. Not your normal kicker. That is Charlie Shepard. And so the first year out of Kingwood has the Tigers up 3-0 over Barry. 8:27 left here in the first half. Thank you for joining us here on the Tiger Network, and we'll be right back for the kickoff here in just a moment. And welcome back. As we mentioned before, 3-0 to the Tigers. Looks like our stats program is running just a little bit behind. There we go, 3-0 now. And we were missing a play and trying to take care of that before the change of possession. And so this short squib kick, once again, that one fielded at the 28-yard line. And still on his feet is number 33 for Barry. And that one was taken so far up, I believe.
Oh, wow, look, there's some talking going on there by the sideline. The refs are quick to shut it down. I was going to say it looked like something might have been able to happen there, but I'm not sure that what the deal is with all these squib-looking kicks because, I mean, usually it's just a strategical move when you're trying to have the opponent not take it back for a touchdown at the end of the half or the end of the game. I'm not sure if it's just, the weather or what the issue is or if these are intentionally being done. But regardless, it does give Barry good field position to work with, starting at the 45 for this drive, down 3-0 now to Trinity.
So new quarterback in on the play there for Barry, and that was Joey Connors with the run, quarterback number 7.
Yeah, it looks like Heath Birchfield, their junior quarterback, their second string. And a lot of these teams, work with the 2-quarterback sort of offense. They'll go for one guy for a certain sort of handoff or a different type of run play, and then they have their main guy who just throws down the field. So we'll see what they elect to do here with him. Looked like he had a bad grip on that.
So Connors once again, that'll be a first down, and the left-handed throwing Birchfield has 1 for 1 now on the day. Adcock was 5 for 9, 51 yards and 2 picks. And so it could be, you got first quarter, you got second quarter, or it could be that after that second pick, they look for a different option.
Yeah, except that second pick wasn't really because of a bad throw per se. It was just bad decision-making to continue that play rather than just taking the hit. And, it got kind of stripped out of his hand. It wasn't really a true throw, but regardless, it was an interception in the scorebook. So going to go on another run play. And they're kind of mimicking what Trinity's offensive scheme has been, which worked for the Tigers, running to the outside, getting a lot of these deep runs. As it seems like both teams' run defenses are sort of deteriorating.
It was Isaiah Dawson with the run, and officially 4 yards, just inside that mark. So basically, once you put that ball on that line, they say you've got it till the next one. So the longest 3 yards, shortest 4 yards, and that one falling just short in the end zone. And try to get a good look at the receiver there.
Interesting attempt down the field there, going for the deep ball.
They had Trinity beat, just led him too far forward. And of course, if he tries to play that one too close to the receiver, then you're dealing with maybe a 5th interception for Nick Hover.
That's the thing. You have to be really particular with your throws here, especially going up against a good passing defense. Really have to be deliberate.
3rd and 7. Birchfield, little toss sweep to Dawson, and he's going to be really close, and I think he got the first down.
Looks like he got it for sure.
Yep.
Good play call just there from Barry.
The yard to gain. So first down for the Vikings.
And, you give all the success to all the credit to the players for how well they've been playing. You also have to look at the coaching staff and different play calls that are being made here. Really good play call there from offensive coordinator Rich Duncan. So they pitch down to the outside and get a new set of downs here. Just approaching about the 20-yard line or so.
And that one complete for Barry. They'll gain about 5. Birchfield has come in on this drive and done a really solid job. And Kennemore with another reception on the day. That's now 3 for 27 yards.
Within the 18, definitely well within field goal range here, even if they're not able to get the touchdown. But we'll see what happens on second down. Another little pitch to the sideline.
C.J. Stone trying to get to the edge, and he's going to gain a few extra yards there towards the end, and that will leave them just a few yards short. It'll be 3rd and 1, maybe 3rd and 2. C.J. Stone.
And if they don't make it here, I might question whether or not they themselves go for it here. It didn't work for Trinity earlier, but playing on the road, this Barry team is no stranger to success. I feel like they have the confidence in their offense to make it happen, but you got to get the stop here first if you're Trinity. Another pitch.
And that's going to be really close for a first down. We'll see where it's officially marked. And he looks to be just short. And they will measure, I believe.
Yeah, I think they're going to go for it. I don't think they got it.
Well, I think the official moved it forward. He's calling for the first down. Yeah, first down, and he's having the chain group move. That was interesting.
Yeah, the crowd is acting like they didn't call it a first, but we both saw that signal there. So I guess they did get the first down? Yeah, it looks like they did get the first down.
So Stone once again trying to make his way inside the 5, and he might be right at the 5.
Josh, what are your thoughts on all these little HB draws they're doing? Just dumping it off to the side and just, kind of expanding the field. Interested in what your take is on that, because we hadn't seen that at all in the first quarter. Now that's all we're seeing.
Yeah, I think you come into a game like this and you're waiting until you find something that works. And right now in the last couple of drives, I think the fact that Birchfield's been able to open up the game passing has allowed some of these runs to gain 4 or 5 yards. Now as you get inside the 5, we're going to see what really transpires here, because the Trinity defense doesn't have to defend everything downfield, so they can maybe keep one extra guy up in the box. And a couple of Tigers there with the stop.
Yeah, you make a good point there. It's like they say in baseball, hitting is contagious. Well, in football, so is offense, and one thing leads to another. Those passing plays have caused the defense to really change the way they've approached things, which has allowed for those run plays to be so successful.
Birchfield going far side out, and that's going to be caught for a touchdown. And Barry is on the board for the first time today. And Mason Kinsey for the Vikings. And Birchfield comes in, his first drive of the game. Nice separation there by Kinsey. And Barry finally on the board here, with 3:26 left to go in the first half, and they will be looking to take the 7-3 lead pending the PAT. It is up and good, and so Trey Gregory gives the Vikings the 7-3 lead as we look to have probably one more solid possession here for the Tigers before halftime, and we'll be back here in just a moment.
We just saw that receiving touchdown from Mason Kinsey for the Barry Vikings, and that ties him for a school record. That's his 32nd receiving touchdown of his career at Barry, as we were hearing from the booth right next door to us. So congratulations to him, and I guess he's basically their Tommy Levine, their downfield threat, and made a good catch there in the corner of the end zone. Give them the lead.
Yeah, that was a nice drive there by Barry Birchfield coming in and really able to, get a couple of completions underneath him. They weren't, terribly long downfield, but what it did was it opened up the running game, which then allowed the passing game to become a little bit more open. So Trinity's defense falling just a little bit on that one as the kicker slipped on the kickoff, and this will be returned. And trying to break his way forward was Edmondson, and Michael Edmondson gets that one out to the 35-yard line after he initially had to pick it up off the ground. And I think, you were asking about some of the squib kicks. I think the field, as you can kind of take a look there.
Oh, it's awful.
It is. From what it looks like on your screen, actually looks a lot better than what we're seeing here in person. Because it looks like it is already gone between the hashes from about the 20 to the 20. And so
Trinity with 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in the half. I'd like to see them extend this drive, make it a long drive to prevent Barry from getting another opportunity to score here before the half. And if I'm Trinity here, I go with a lot of the same run plays that have been working with Jay Foster.
So this will be interesting. Trinity, it was an offsides call on the kick, and as the kicker slipped, that created the offsides by number 32. You see he's right there next to the kicker. You time that to be perfect, and when the kicker comes up and slips, you really don't have much of an option there. You go when he goes, and if he doesn't continue at the normal speed that you anticipate him to go, you are going to be offside. So really hard to fault Barry there on the penalty. That'll back them up just a little bit, and it was interesting to see Trinity want this re-kick because they had the ball at the 35.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they wanted this re-kick. I don't know if they were forced. I don't think they're forced to accept any penalty, but
as that one will be received at the 9-yard line by Edmondson. And, taken out on a great individual tackle. So a net gain of about 3 or 4 yards for Barry. And what a tackle. I believe that was number 9, Austin Perry.
Let's see that again.
Sophomore defensive back for the Vikings. And she'll get a good chance of.
I kind of lost where it happened, but I trust your judgment on that. You had a better look at it than I did on who that was that made the stop. But regardless, Trinity.
Yeah, they're going to say Austin Perry with the tackle. So the re-kick will end up costing Trinity about 3 yards. And we'll see what Messick and Foster have.
Yep, back to that handoff. Snuffed out immediately this time.
Yeah, tackle for about a yard gain by Jack Carroll. And another sophomore for the Vikings. So you talk about Barry. They won the conference last year, went to the NCAA postseason, and they're back this year. They've already clinched the automatic bid from the SAA. And everybody we've talked about is a freshman or sophomore pending, maybe the quarterback or something of that nature. That ball floated out to the far side, Stewart, and he's able to pick up about 5 or 6 yards to make it a more manageable third down. And so if Trinity has anything for third and short, that one might have been deflected.
Yeah, I don't know why he lobbed it. I was going to say it must have been deflected because it went so high in the air, and not used to seeing lobs that high from Wyatt Messick, but a very manageable 3rd and 4. Let's see what they do here. I think they might do a pass play here. They've been going with the run a lot, but on 3rd down, you really need all the yards you can get here. And I don't know if that offensive line will be able to hold Barry for just one more play.
Instead, it's a draw to Foster, and he's going to gain 1.5, but that's not nearly enough. So that will bring up 4th down and a timeout, I believe, by Barry. And I thought we might see a draw. Unfortunately for Trinity, it was Cooper Chewinski, another freshman linebacker, able to come up and make the immediate tackle on Foster. So that ball sits at the 39-yard line, 4th and 3. And Trinity will most likely punt this away.
Yeah, they have to here. if you go for it and you don't get it, that's just asking for trouble, especially the way Barry looked on that last offensive drive. I mean, it's just too much of a risk here, I think, with so much football left to play in the game.
Yeah, I agree. It would be a big risk, but I also think that Trinity will receive in the second half. So if you're Trinity, you might look at maybe the possibility of a fake, continue on. You've still got 2 minutes left on this clock here in the first half. Defense has been playing well, and it's not necessarily giving the ball over at your 20 or 30-yard line.
Yeah,
But you're right, though. It should be just punt it away and play defense and go down 7-3 if you got the chance.
Barry still has a few timeouts left, and that's what they'll do as the kicker slips on that one. It's really just nasty field conditions. But a good punt, regardless, puts them about, let's see where that is, maybe.
It's going to be officially the 14-yard line. And so nice little job of turning the field, and nice call by Coach Urban. I mean, I think the temptation to possibly maybe go for a fake there, but nice, smart play. Trinity will get the ball back. As you see, the field in the middle is just gone at this point. And so, at this point,
Yeah, I mean, if only we were fortunate enough to get to play another one in the confines of Alamo Stadium. Unfortunately, not the case here.
So Adcock back in. This one off to Connors. Connors with room to run, and the fantastic field position gained off the punt. Now for a knot as Barry is out across the 30-yard line up to the 33, and they are looking to go no huddle here. Tate Adcock back in, and it'll be another handoff to Connors, and this time Trinity able to stuff him at the line. He may have gained one. And as you see, everybody just kind of up and moving. Barry now with 70 seconds left here in the first half. It'll be 2nd and 9 officially.
Expect them to air one out eventually.
And here it is, that one deep downfield, and they've got Kinsey wide open for another touchdown, and that is his second of the game as he just got back there behind Lee on coverage. And Barry, with 53 seconds left here in the first half, in the last 3 minutes, have scored 2 touchdowns.
That's crazy. I mean, just as we were saying, expect him to air one out soon. Air one out, he did. And I guess Kinsey now must pass whoever had that record there for Barry. That is his 33rd career receiving touchdown. He's just gone hog wild all year. So I think that's his 15th receiving touchdown for the season. The extra point is good.
And as the sun appears for the first time today, and the Tigers could use a little bit of that sunshine on offense as they will now trail 11 points here. Still 53 seconds left here in the first half. I don't know if that's enough time to do anything, but depending on the return or what type of kickoff we get, it could set up Trinity to at least maybe get 3 points back. We did have a 42-yard field goal earlier by Charlie Shepard, so he's definitely got range if they can get it maybe 30 or 40 yards in about 50 seconds. I think it's a possibility to come away with at least 3. As we said, Trinity will receive the second half kickoff, so a lot still to play for here with under a minute to play in the first half.
Yeah, you just don't want to see Trinity get too anxious to get those points back here because getting the ball back, you go into halftime down 11, not the end of the world if you can put some points on the board to start the third quarter. What you don't want to do is just go out of your offensive scheme, just lob one up, get picked off, and maybe a pick six, and then you're looking at 21-3 at the half, just allowing more and more points. I think you have to play conservatively here and just accept that you're down 11 and, play with that.
So the squib kick, that's going to go to Stewart. He picks it up and really nowhere to go, so he's going to be up around the 26, 27-yard line. And I don't think that's the kind of return you need to really be able to push this one forward. So might see a couple of handoffs here. And like
I think
you said,
we'll just see some handoffs.
A couple of handoffs and then head to the locker room.
But you don't know what Coach Urban has up his sleeves. I mean, they still do have, looks like they do have 2 timeouts remaining, if our scoreboard is indeed correct this time. But
yeah, 2 timeouts remaining. If you're looking there on the screen, you see one each. Just assume that that it's inverted. I don't really know what to tell you. There's something going on with our timeouts on the graphics, with the way that the stats are bringing that in. I think it's just reversed at this point.
Yeah,
and
there's
so a
those
nice
handoffs
little
we were
draw
looking for.
to Evan McDowell. And it's good to see McDowell back in the game after he went out earlier, after he was tackled around the neck. And so,
yeah, it was a vicious tackle. But going into halftime, some positives to take away. Jay Foster's looked really good running the ball. There's been some decent blocking from Trinity. The defense has looked good at times. And Essex continues to run. He just needs to get down to avoid getting hit hard and maybe losing the ball.
we get a timeout here by Trinity.
I think he gambled for too many yards there. I mean, I know the end result, all the crowd is going to be happy with that, but from really a pure football perspective, I don't know why he didn't just slide it right there. I mean, he took a really big risk of taking a big hit, almost turned his ankle there. Just really, I don't think that was the right move, but, I mean,
It did get Trinity the first down, and
Yeah.
you know, the thing about that play, though, is he kept it alive, got the first down, now with 20 seconds left, and then get about 15 yards on a pass reception here. That puts them possibly in position to get one more pass completion with the timeout left.
Kick the field goal.
Then you might have a shot at maybe a 50, 55-yard field goal just to see what happens. I don't know if Trinity would be comfortable doing something to that extent, but if you're trying to salvage something out of, a 57-second, right before the half drive, 3 points could come up huge late in the game. I mean, we've seen Trinity's losses this year by 9, 3, and 5. So, if you're able to pick up points somewhere along the way, a chance to, pick up that upset win over Barry and ruin a perfect season. These guys are playing for a lot of pride today. So McDowell back with Messick, and he's got a little bit of room in the time in the pocket, and comes up, and there it is, 15 yards, and that's Cash Crane. And so we'll see. The clock will stop momentarily, so the Tigers will come up and spike it. I think they're going to try to get one more play off after this. Otherwise, you let it run down and call your timeout. The clock has run. 11 seconds. 10. There's the snap, and then finally snap down and
took a
down.
while to get that spike off.
So 8 seconds. They wasted about 5 seconds on the getting ready and spiking it there.
You just gotta be quicker.
So you're looking for an out route here. If you can pick up about 4 yards, 5 yards, and take about maybe 6 seconds overall, then you've set yourself up for that field goal.
Yeah.
Of about the same. Right now you're looking at about a 57-yard field goal. So if you can pick up, I don't know, maybe 7, 8 yards, make it manageable.
I think we might see a shot to the end zone.
Well, otherwise you've got to take a shot all the way down.
I think we'll see that. Let's see if we see it.
And that's what it's going to be.
Oh,
and it's a fumble.
Man.
And we've got –
there's a penalty.
It's going to be, 2 seconds left, so we're not going to have an untimed down. But they're going to get face mask call, I believe, or horse collar, one or the other, as he was going for the strip.
Looked like he got him around. Looked like a face mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 15 yards on the personal foul. That will put the Tigers into field goal range. That'll make it now a 30. It depends on exactly where they spotted the ball off after that play. So Trinity will call their final timeout. So your thoughts? Do they kick the field goal or do they take a shot for the end zone here?
No, you got to kick the field goal here. I mean, one field goal here makes it a one-score game at 14-6. You get a touchdown in the 2-point conversion. You can tie it. And, I mean, you don't even need to do that, really, because there's still so much time in the game if you want to get
and you see,
but, well, yeah, let's see.
You see Shepard out there. It looks like he wants to have the ball spotted at the 35. So I think he was just checking the footing.
Sure.
So that would make it a 45-yard field goal. He made a 42-yard field goal. Made it with ease. So if he can get a good footing.
I'm curious to think what you would do here because, you already asked me, and I told you I think they should just kick it. But, I mean, that's what they're going to do. But
As much as our booth is asking for the fake back in our control room, I really do think 45 yards here, I think it's an opportunity to be within one score. I think you take the chance here on the field goal because if you try to pull out the fake here and it goes terribly wrong, you're going to find yourself on numerous websites and you're going to be on social media for the next couple of days.
Yeah, there it is.
That one's got the distance just short. Off.
But, hey, I mean, you can't regret going for it. I mean, you're not asking for an 80-yard kick or anything ridiculous. And I mean, it almost got there. Just fell a little flat at the end. So
So for Barry, it's been 2 touchdowns by their all-time leading receiver for touchdowns, and that's Mason Kinsey. He had the big one there at the end, 64 yards to put the Barry Vikings up by a score of 14-3. Trinity's offense has looked pretty solid. I mean, 175 yards here in the first half, not too bad. And big day early on for Jay Foster and Evan McDowell, getting a couple of big long runs. That 64-yard pass, really the difference, I think, in the game so far. Otherwise, I think these two teams have looked pretty competitive, pretty balanced here early on in the first half. So 20 minutes for the half, and we will be back for the start of the second in about 18 minutes or so. So thank you for joining us here on the Tiger Network, and I hope you stick around for the second half. And welcome back to Trinity University. And you get a good look at the halftime stats. And it will be Barry to kick off to the Tigers, trailing by 11. Tigers missing the 45-yard field goal as the first half expired.
Yeah, both teams identical numbers on the ground here, but the difference really has been the passing yards total for Barry, 138, despite those couple of interceptions. It's given them those 2 touchdowns and that 14-3 lead.
So that's going to be Stewart on the return, runs into his own guy, still moving, and eventually brought down. And he will be set up somewhere around the 27-yard line, so the Tigers will take over back on offense. Austin Perry with the tackle. And as you mentioned, Messick, 6 of 12, just 70 yards, does have an INT. That one was on a 4th down play, and an end result actually helped the Tigers. So hard to fault the guy for throwing the pick at that point. But as you mentioned, Evan McDowell and Jay Foster, 8 carries apiece, 58 and 57 yards amongst them, 115 total. And it's going to be McDowell here to open the second half. And he really does go nowhere on that play, so it'll be 2nd and 10.
And an unfortunate end to the half for the Tigers. It looked like they would be able to steal 3 points back going into the halftime break, but unfortunately I believe it was a 45-yard kick that fell just short from Shepard. Not used to seeing him, usually used to seeing Jonathan Reyes out there. Not sure why the change there, but he knocked one home from 42 early on in the game.
So Messick, 2nd and 10. The man in motion going to his right. Quick draw pass, and that one to Stewart, and he comes up empty, and Stewart holding his chest as he hits the ground. No flags on the play. It'll be 3rd down as Stewart's slow to get up.
This could be bad. I mean, Stewart, one of the top receivers for this offense. Definitely don't want to see him out for any period of action in a game as close as this one, because, I mean, this is still an 11-point game. You just need, a touchdown, a 2-point conversion, and then a field goal, and then you're tied up again. So game definitely still in reach, especially given how good the Tiger defense has looked at various points throughout the game. They got burned on that one 64-yard touchdown pass, but other than that, really haven't allowed a whole lot to Barry. The weird thing is, Barry wasn't doing a whole lot with their starting quarterback, Tate Adcock. They went to Birchfield, who's doing a lot of running plays, a lot of handoffs, and that's where they really started to get it going.
So Messick's 3rd and 10 over the middle, and that's going to be pass complete and all the way inside the 30, and that's going to be Tanner Lacey for the Tigers. I'd kind of looked at all the receivers on the field, and I didn't see Lacey as I was looking them all through.
I
saw
think that's
Tuggle.
who intended it to.
Tuggle, that one went over his hands and perfectly into Lacey's arms. And a huge play for 43 yards down to the 29-yard line.
I don't think it was intended to Lacey. It looked like an overthrow of, I believe it was Tuggle, as you said. But regardless, a good play. Set up good field position for the Tigers, 1st and 10 at the 29 of Barry.
And I think Lacey may have come in for Stewart. That one's going to go to the corner of the end zone, and I believe that's Tuggle down there and just out of his reach, trying to keep his legs in. And excellent defense there from Daryl Mims. We've called his name a couple of times, the senior defensive back for Barry, one of the few seniors on the Barry team. And we get a good look at it here. It was a great throw right to Tuggle. And excuse me, that was number 3, I beg your pardon. That's Greer, senior defensive back, who had the interception earlier. So the 2 senior DBs really doing a great job. We've called Greer just as much as we've called Mims
a ton of times.
And so
this one.
Doing a great job on the Tiger receivers. See Lacey at the bottom of the screen. That's Tuggle coming across the middle. And Messick somehow evaded all of the defenders right there as they blitzed up the middle, and he just split the seam. I'd be interested to see a look at that one here in just a moment. But what a individual job by Messick here.
Yeah, the blocking really collapsed there. He just split the seam and then found a hole to the left side. And I'm wondering what Coach Urban instructed his team at halftime, because it seems like the offense has really shifted its tempo here. Not a lot of short little run plays, a lot of deep balls downfield, a lot of shotgun offense setups here. Looks like they're trying to move quicker, maybe change the pace of the game here.
So it's Levine to his left. Lacey in motion. Now he'll go back to where he was from. He's got trips to his right. He's going to look deep towards the corner, and Tuggle calling for a flag, not going to get one. I mean, we haven't seen very many flags all day.
And there certainly didn't need to be one.
And I think one of the flags that we saw, they just basically gave the sideline warning for. And you get a good look at Messick's. And Tuggle.
That ball wasn't catchable at all. So, I mean, even if there was a little bit of shipping contact
could have been called for holding, if nothing else. I mean, it was close enough to where I think it might have affected Tuggle. But at this point, I mean, Trinity got away with a blatant hold around this area of the field in the first half. And so even if that was defensive interference or holding, I think at this point the officials are calling this game pretty loosely. You just got to start to roll with it and figure out how you're going to play.
Yeah, I think the officiating has been pretty decent overall. Not really anything that stood out to complain about.
McDowell just barreling his way forward. That'll set up third and about half the distance they needed. I guess officially say 7. The yard marker looks more like 6.
Let's see if they finally take a shot at Levine in the end zone.
Got
here.
McDowell far side to the left, empty backfield. Levine in the slot. He's got Cash Crane in the slot to his right. He's looking right and looks towards the corner for Crane and defended pretty well. I believe that was number 23 on defense. Slow to get up.
This crowd seems to be booing or something. I don't know if they wanted a call on that one.
It's 21 on defense there.
Josh Knight.
And so
rather, Randall Booker. Sorry, we have 2 guys listed with the same number on there. That was the defensive back.
Yeah, so Barry with 112 on their roster, but they have 23 dual numbers.
It's crazy. It's hard to keep up with, but good field goal range here. Field goal position. Looked like he made it,
Yeah, so 2 for 3 on the day now for Charlie Shepard. And this one considerably shorter than his first attempt. And it is 14-6.
Good drive there for Trinity to start the third quarter. Honestly, have no complaints with the way they played it, especially that Messick's run play on what looked like it could have been a loss at the start of the play. And, you know, that's always a great thing to have out of a quarterback, especially someone, you know, as young as Wyatt Messick's, the sophomore, really holding his own there, looking like a senior, knowing what to do on that play.
Scoring drive, 9 plays, 61 yards, took 3 minutes and 4 seconds. Ended with a 28-yard field goal by Shepard. And Trinity within one score once again, 14-6. But for the Tigers, they have exchanged field goals for touchdowns, and not a strategy that's going to help win the game.
To get enough of them, you know, except I don't know if time would allow that the way this game's been playing itself out. But, you know, you're right. You do want that score in the end zone at some point in the game. And, I mean, if they get it next, you'd probably imagine that they'd go for 2 to tie it, even with all the time left. So just have to get the stop first.
So that one fielded at the 6 by C.J. Stone. And he's immediately taken down at the 21-yard line. That was number 51 for the Tigers, Michael Jewett, the freshman from Houston, Texas. And nice stop by the Tigers. That's the first kickoff that I've seen that's looked like a normal kickoff going to the 21-yard line. It'll be Barry with their first possession of the second half.
Impressive for Trinity that Barry's only at 14 points still. A team that you said on the year scores at least 30, 35 points a game.
So C.J. Stone, once again, he'll gain a few up the middle, and officially maybe 2. C.J. Stone, he's got all the stickers on the helmet, but he's been held pretty much in check here today. 7 attempts for 20 yards.
Yeah, we've seen more out of Joey Connors, not listed as a starting running back.
Not only have we seen Connors 6 attempts for 48 yards, averaging 8 yards per carry, but he's also had 2 receptions for 28 yards. So Joey Connors really, and a lot of that was on that drive with Birchfield when he came in at quarterback, really helping them out. Adcock's going to go deep, and that is not complete. He had it and lost it. And on the
looked like Aaron Hale, 59.
Yeah, Aaron Hale for the Tigers. It was Marcus Spears, listed as a halfback. number 17, did a good job to go up and get it.
Sorry, that wasn't Hale. Hale was in the vicinity, but that was not him who made the hit. We'll have to see who that was if we can get another look at it. But regardless, it is a third down either way. And second down, rather. The scoreboard malfunctioning yet again, but hopefully Trinity can push it to third down here.
So Adcock going towards Kinsey, and at this point, I do not understand how you do not have anybody on Kinsey at this point. 2 touchdowns already on the day. He's the all-time touchdown receiving leader for Berry in their program history with 33, and he's going to be able to pick up the first down. And that was Aaron Hale with the stop there, the freshman from Aledo, Texas. So first down and 10 at the 39-yard line. Adcock hands off, Stone, and Stone, he's been averaging about 2.9 yards per carry, and I think that's about what he got.
Yeah, hasn't been doing a whole lot, which speaks a lot to the Trinity defense all game. But, you know, with Berry's offensive firepower, you have to worry that maybe Trinity's defensive, like the best we've seen from Trinity's defense is behind us, considering how explosive Berry is on offense. They've already committed those 2 turnovers.
And Adcock will take the loss.
He just stumbled
It's going to be a design run pass option read for Adcock, and he decided to keep it instead of go to Stone, and he's going to lose all that 4 yards that Stone picked up on first down as he just came up with a turf with the tackle for Trinity. Officially, they're going to give that to Cale Ridge. So he was the closest defender in the neighborhood.
Big stop opportunity here for Trinity is to see the crowd really getting into it. And this is the loudest we've seen the crowd today, arguably. A really big moment here. Trinity can get that stop and get the punt in decent position.
Pass out to Connors. He's looking to turn the corner. He needs about 3 more here for the first down. He's going to get close, but they're going to come up about 2 yards short, I believe. And this will be an interesting fourth down call. You're at the 50-yard line, officially the 48, but fourth and
I think they have
1.5, 2 yards.
I think their offense is, I think
if
they have a
you
strong
give
enough offense to go for it.
Oh, penalty is going to be called on Berry. Did not see the flag initially come in, and so we can forget all the talk about what to do on 4th and 1 because it will be 4th and 11 or a little bit further back. So they're going to say must have been a holding call on the run. So third down and 15. They hadn't turned over the down marker yet. Getting a little bit ahead of myself. So third and 15.
The scoreboard just giving us all sorts of problems all day. So can't put the blame entirely on you there. So big play here. Again, third down, even more yards to go for the Vikings.
Adcock scrambles around. He's going to throw it, and it falls incomplete. So that will bring up 4th and 15. And so the penalty costing Berry a chance to extend the drive.
And you could tell as soon as that ball was snapped that nothing was going to come out of that play. The entire pocket collapsed on him, just looking for someone to hit there, and that ball was overthrown.
Tried to find Connors there. Tried to put a little bit of a touch on it, but Connors was being defended well, and that was going to have to be almost like an arcing hoop shot for it to fall in for Connors. That one booted away by Berry, and everybody from Trinity saying evacuate the area because that's going to go down and out of bounds. We'll see where the officially stops. It looks like the 44-yard line.
Regardless of where they mark it, it's good field position for Trinity to start with. And this is only a 1 touchdown and 2-point conversion game here. You have to like the chances for Trinity against a 9-0 perfect Berry Vikings team. Especially, Trinity almost beating them last year, coming really close. So Trinity, it can be done.
Trinity running off a couple of strong games at the end of 2017. We had really high hopes for the season. We opened it with a ranked opponent, Hardin-Simmons, coming in after we defeated McMurray 44-0 on the road. We lost a close one by 9 points to Hardin-Simmons.
I think it was closer than it even
closer
showed.
than what the 9 points, eventually fell to, as that one's going to be a loss of 1 by Foster. And so, you're looking at it. You defeat a team 44-0. You lose to a really good Hardin-Simmons team who's going to probably make a Pool C bid and make the postseason. They're, of course, in the conference with Mary Hardin-Baylor, the number 2 team in the country. So, look for them to be a postseason team. And then you lose a heartbreaker at home on a bad field to Millsaps. You lose a heartbreaker to Center in a game that you pretty much had won, and it just slipped away from you. Now Foster turning the corner up the middle, and he gets flung
forward. That's
going to be an extra 3 yards.
That's something you'd see in NFL Street, where they just pick the guy up and chuck him across the field and give him all those extra yards. Not something you hope to do as a defender, to throw the guy forward.
Mac Wells giving the Tigers an extra 3 yards on that one. If you'd have just probably held Jay Foster up, they probably would have stopped the play right where it was. But now it's a manageable 3rd and 4.
So go with a little screen pass here to Jay Foster. Not sure if they will do it, but that's what I would do here.
And now Messick's looking. He's got people downfield, but wasn't going to have an opportunity to get rid of it. And the sack as Messick comes up holding his helmet, saying that he got grabbed around there. But A.M. Harris, Woodstock, Georgia linebacker.
Yeah, he's had a great game as we look at our halftime statistics, leading the team in tackles with 5 total tackles coming in.
Oh, that was a face mask.
Yeah.
The official missed that one pretty blatantly. And so very fortunate to not be called on that one. That would have been an automatic first down. And it will be a punt for the Tigers. So Mims for Barry. He fields it cleanly and is immediately swallowed up by the Tigers. And that was Michael Jewett once again on special teams.
Well, unfortunately, not the result you hoped for Trinity on 3rd and 4 as the play collapsed. They did miss the penalty call, but to even be put in that position in the first place is not ideal.
Yeah, as we I think have grown accustomed to here in Division III, you're getting officials who are going to miss penalties. It's just the way it is. Guys that work in the NFL miss penalties.
It happens.
It happens.
It's part of the game. Yeah.
And so, at some point you just have to make a play. That might have been a false start. I saw a little bit of awkwardness on that play, but pass out and complete and immediately swallowed up. On the completion was TJ Cierci, and Cierci was brought down immediately by Meesfield.
And man, the Tigers almost got that deflection there as soon as the pass was thrown. And wouldn't that have been huge to bat down in the air, potentially creating a 3rd interception? Unfortunately, the ball just going over the hands there.
So about 5 yards on the play. We'll officially say 6. So 2nd and 4. And Connors on the direct snap, and he tries to take it to his right. And he's going to get close to that first down, but I don't think he quite got it. It's a 3rd and short. So he was lined up back there. Adcock didn't even see him on the play.
Yeah, I think they had an extra running back in on that one. Just had some sort of interesting formation. And for the game to be as low scoring as it is now, the offenses really haven't looked all that terrible throughout the game.
So Adcock back in. Pitches it over. I believe that's Stone. No, Dawson. Dawson barrels ahead for the first down. So
there's that pitch that we've been seeing. And that's been working for them the whole time they've been trying that out. It seems like they're getting at least 4 or 5 yards out of it. So Trinity can pinch in on those ones, kind of close in, maybe run a blitz or something to prevent that from happening. Charge through the seam and bottle it up.
If I'm Barry, I might try to take another shot deep downfield.
Yeah, I could see
Deepest safety is standing on the 40, only 12 yards beyond the line of scrimmage.
Keep your eyes focused down here toward the bottom.
Dawson again, and trying to turn the corner. Can't do it. A couple of Tigers there. Saebu on the tackle.
Yeah, just watch out for Mason Kinsey. As we've talked about, already has 2 touchdowns. Could be another deep threat, especially if they have him in man coverage, which it looks like they did on the last play.
Yeah, Tigers basically had everybody up in the box on that play, anticipating a first down run.
Looks like Kadarius Lee's in charge of dealing with. No, never mind.
Hover turns around. I don't see any flags.
Nope.
And that was intended deep for Kinsey. So just as we had talked about, be an opportunity to see them go deep. That time, though, I thought Trinity was prepared for a deep ball. The safeties had started to play back a little bit more. We saw Kadarius Lee,
I don't know why Kadarius Lee ran in on that. I don't know.
Playing up in the zone coverage there to cover the flat because he had Hover take over on the backside. He also had help deep over top with Christian Mata. So Trinity definitely prepared for that attempt. Not going to get burned once again. And Adcock now flush from the pocket. Being chased, is going to have to get rid of it. And somehow that ball just goes between about 12 different guys out there on the field.
Not even a hand on that one.
And didn't touch anybody. Yeah. And giving chase for Trinity was Cale Ridge.
So on fourth down, has to be a punt, right? I mean, we're not going to see any crazy fakes or.
I think up 8, a team that's trying to
to
prepare
to
or trying to keep their perfect record. Their defenses look pretty strong throughout the day. The field's not the best of shape. And a beautiful punt, get some air underneath it, and Stewart's going to call for the fair catch.
Yeah, and it seems silly that we keep bringing up whether or not we'll see fakes, but we saw it in the last home game we were at against Sewanee. They went for it on 4th and 10, I believe it was. They went for some fake, and they almost got it until whoever had the ball fumbled it for them.
Yeah, I think Trinity's good for about a fake every 1.3 games.
Yeah, so we might be due for one later on here. It's about 3 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Just oodles of time here for Trinity to do something with it. I mean, they had the ball last drive with a chance to do something and ended up getting sacked on that big third down. Could have been a face mask, but as we said, you don't want to rely on the official to give you the first.
As Trinity with the end around.
About 2nd and 5 here to go for Trinity till the first down. I want to see if they take a deep shot downfield. I mean, we really haven't seen much of Tommy Levine at all game.
Yeah, just one reception on the day as Messick drops back, airs it out a little bit, and that is complete to Stewart. And Stewart with a lot of room to run. I think he could be off to the races, and that will be a touchdown for the Tigers. Chris Stewart.
74 yards.
74-yard touchdown for the Tigers. And we'll get a good look at it here. Messick's doing a great job. Steps up into the pocket just a little bit. And Stewart coming back for the ball, and then it was just a foot race. And I'm going to be honest, you can have a lot of fast guys in your team, and if you get into a foot race with Chris Stewart, you are in trouble.
Yeah, it looked like the defensive back, Shelton, was a little bit out of position there to make the tackle. May have misread the route a little bit, and once Chris Stewart had that one, he was off. And do you go for 2 on this one to tie it, or you just go for the extra point? Because,
I mean, honestly, I would go for the extra point. Mostly just because I feel 2:52 left here in the third.
There's so much time.
I think there's a lot of time. The one thing I don't think you want to do is have this, if you're down by 2 and they score another touchdown,
you're down 9,
and now you're down by 9 again. That just makes it so much harder as you come back.
I think
I'll also say I won't fault anybody for trying to go for 2 to tie the game here. But, I mean, it's just such a hard transition. You just scored on a 74-yard play. If they had taken that ball and gone down, 5-6 yards at a clip and really, run down the defense, I would, feel much more confident about just saying, hey, we're going to go just pound it in. But, and that, whatever I say, Coach Urban's probably just going to say, I'm going to do the opposite because they have sent out the offense here to go for 2.
Well, the thinking here is probably, look, this team is 9-0. They've been playing great defense all year. They have a really good offense. You don't know how many more chances you'll get because, like you said, that was the one deep bomb downfield. It's not like they were constantly attacking the defense. So may as well, just go all in here.
So, somewhere Herm Edwards is smiling here as Trinity is playing to win the game. So it'll be Messick rolling to his right. And floats it deep. Levine's got it. We are tied at 14. So don't listen to what I say.
Yeah,
Just don't listen to what I say. Go for 2. You're going to be fine.
Gotta love the Herm Edwards, you play to win the games reference.
So Trinity with the 74-yard bomb to Chris Stewart, and then Levine there doing a great job to drop the foot in the corner
of the
end zone.
He really had to tiptoe there. Ended up on the track on that one.
His second reception of the game. He's got a point per reception at this point.
Now the crowd is really into this. All of a sudden, 14-14, and like we said at half, 14-3 didn't really indicate how well Trinity was playing. And I was thinking, it'll be a shame if we go home with a loss here by 11 or 15 or 18, whatever, because we've been holding our own against a really, really good Barry team. Now Trinity's defense needs to continue to hold on. Still have not conceded any points yet in the second half. It's been all Trinity here, outscoring Barry 11-0 in the quarter. Let's see if we get another one of these little squib kicks here.
2:52 left in the third quarter, and it will once again be Charlie Shepard kicking it out, and he tries to pin Stone up along the sideline. Stone receives it, has a little bit of room to run, has broken a tackle, and fortunately for the Tigers, he couldn't break the tackle from Christian Mata, as he's able to keep that from being a huge return.
That could have been bad. Initially, it didn't look like much was going to come of it, as he was really close to the sideline, but able to weave his way through, and then, if he had that extra blocker there, might have been able to make something more out of it.
And Tiger fans, don't forget the football action continues of the worldly variety. 5 o'clock today, the Trinity men's soccer team will be facing on Chapman in the NCAA first round. We'll have that one for you here on Tiger Network, followed by a neutral game of Mare Hardin Baylor and Southwestern, as C.J. Stone rushing ahead for about 1.5 yards. And I believe that was Measfield on the tackle. Tiger men's soccer team, 15-1-3 on the season.
It's been a great year for Trinity soccer overall. You have the women's team that's won over 100 straight conference games. And Trinity athletics, it's a great time to be a Trinity Tiger.
And Barry's probably thinking it's a pretty good time to be a very Viking. Their volleyball team doing exceptionally well this year, and they were hosting what a one-handed catch.
Wow. All you have to say to that, just crazy catch. And if he hadn't snagged that out of the air, it looked like Cade Kennemore, number 13, the first year. We'll watch that one again. Really an overthrown pass.
Nice catch by Kennemore. I will say, though, that until I see somebody do it without the gloves, I'm just not impressed with the one-handed catches. The gloves do so much for everybody.
I mean, you can't ban the gloves.
That being said, that was a fantastic grab by Kennemore.
You still have to time it. You still have to have the athleticism to go up and make that play. I'm still impressed.
And Connors up the middle. He'll gain about 1 yard. He ran for 6, but he was so deep in the backfield that it's only going to be 2nd and 9.
Seeing more of the passing game in this half from Barry, and it's shown they've been a little inconsistent on that front. They had that deep strike in the first half to Kinsey and another touchdown to him, but other than that, haven't been consistent with it.
Handoff to Connors. So he looks up the middle. He's going to have a first down. So 1st and 10 coming up for Barry as they're extending their drive down the field. And before Kennemore's catch, I was talking about Barry. They hosted the regional cross-country meet out there in Rome, Georgia this morning. And so don't know if we got any results in from that one yet, but nice job hosting the regional cross-country event for the South region, as well as hosting a volleyball tournament. And have a football team that's on their way to potentially hosting a game in the first round, as Kinsey's going to be slipping through, and that should be another first down. 15-yard gain for Kinsey. And as this one approaches 30 seconds left in the third quarter, Barry, they've done this. They had the really long strike to Kinsey for the touchdown, and their other drive was very a lot of momentum, a lot of 5 to 10-yard gains, and they just matriculated down the field. This one looking a lot like the drive that Birchfield put together early on. Now Adcock really finding his rhythm. It'll be Connors again off to the right side, and he's swallowed up by a couple of Tigers.
Looks like that'll be the last play we'll be able to get in here in the third. So we head to the final quarter of action, tied at 14. Game is up for anyone to grab. Don't go anywhere. At 14, Trinity and Barry, and we're just talking about Kinsey's production for Barry earlier, and honestly, I'm not too worried if he gets his catches. You know, he gets what he gets, but if you can limit the rest of that offense, I really have no problem with the occasional look to Kinsey, so long as you stop whatever else they have going on, which has been the case.
Yeah, as Kennemore has really been the one to cause some havoc as we are back under play here. Adcock rolling around to his right and be taken down.
Hit.
And a big hit there for the Tigers. Sure, we'll get a good replay of that one. So you didn't really miss anything as
a little bit of a low snap there.
Was looking to his right, and I think he wanted to pass this, but really didn't have anybody. And then coming up on the play was Kadarius Lee.
I don't know why he didn't just throw that ball away. I guess he was able to get a yard out of it, but it looks like there might be the trainer coming out there.
I think that
is there a new quarterback going to come in? Looks like Birchfield is warming up on the side.
Yeah, Birchfield will come in. I think the NCAA over the last couple of years has done a really great job of really putting people into the concussion protocol, and I know that a lot of people don't want to see a guy have to come out of a drive like this, but when you take a shot up around the shoulder area or maybe even towards the head area, it's so critical that you make sure that he's really good to go before he steps back out there. And so as much as you hate seeing his drive come to an end on that play possibly, you hope that he's got a clear head and he's able to go out there and perform at his best.
Yeah, and these guys are kids too. I mean, they're student athletes, and student is the first part of that word, so you don't want to jeopardize someone's student career too. So we will get that change in quarterback. It will be
Birchfield and then Dawson in the backfield. And Birchfield's been looking good so far today. Drops back and throws it a little bit wide. He was looking for Kinsey, and I think it was just a little miscommunication. Had him spotted up, and I think he was trying to lead him more, and I think Kinsey wanted to sit into the spot.
This looks like it'll be the first time we'll get to see the field goal unit out here for the Vikings.
It'll be number 30, Trey Gregory, the place kicker.
Gregory already has made both the extra points, but, I mean, that's not saying a whole lot. He's really being put to the test here, especially in a tied ball game in the fourth quarter. Barry looking to preserve that 9-0 record.
Chandler Polk with the hold, and Gregory is up and through. And Barry with the 3-point lead, 17-14, 14:22 left here in the contest. And the drive ends with 3 points for the Vikings, but they regain the lead. And 9 plays, 49 yards, 3 minutes, 23 seconds, 37-yard field goal by Trey Gregory. And we've seen some fantastic execution of field goals by both teams here. As we mentioned earlier,
the 42-yarder.
Charlie Shepard with the 42-yarder, and he had a good placement and kick for the 45-yarder. He just didn't have it all the way up and through.
Yeah.
And To be honest, some of these kicks, they're making them look easy. The field, we walked it earlier, it is still squishy, especially in the middle of the field where the crown sort of sits. It crowns off once you get to the hash marks, but the in between there, does sort of just sit flat in some spots.
Yeah, there's only so much maintenance they can do given the weather, the way it has been, just constant downpour over the past week or so. So good job by the maintenance crew. I mean, they do all they can to keep the field in good condition, playable condition.
Now it'll be sit down. Stewart to receive at the 12, taking his time looking for a hole. And as he started to make his break, it was Mason Brown for Barry stuffing through the hole. And so 14-15 on the drive start here for Trinity.
The last play we saw on offense for Trinity was that two-point conversion to Levine, which was promising. You want to see him get in the game, especially late here entering the fourth quarter. Curious to see whether or not they take some shots toward him, averaging about 13 yards a catch on the year. So if they can get him the ball, good things will happen.
Well, speaking of Levine, he's going through the middle, and he'll catch this pass to turn the corner. He's got the first down, now looking for more, and will wisely get out of bounds. About a 16-yard gain for Adam Levine, or excuse me, for Tommy Levine. And Levine, just his third reception on the day, and it's officially just his second because the two-point conversion doesn't actually count as a reception. So officially his second catch, and now up to 21 yards. Officially 22 yards is 17-yard gain. And off the back foot, a dangerous pass, and that's going to be broken up.
That was a really risky play there. Let's see who was on the coverage there. It looks like Greer again, who we've been talking about all afternoon long. But he got knocked over there. Given the rules on hits on the quarterback, I was hoping maybe they'd give him benefit of the doubt and call roughing the passer, but unfortunately it was not the case.
Yeah, and that was definitely a case for pass interference, as Mims was definitely holding the jersey of Tommy Levine. As we said, it hasn't been called all game. I don't expect to see it called now, so can't really complain about it. It's gone both ways, as McDowell barreling through the middle. He gains about 5.5, maybe 6.
They really need to throw the ball here if they want to get this first down. Except Jay Foster is out on the field, so maybe Coach Urban is thinking of other things here.
Well, both of these guys have been running really well. The problem is they've either had really nice gains or they've been stuffed at the line. And so you're probably either going to get a first down on a run or you're going to get stuffed at the line. And it's kind of been 50-50 so far. So that puts you into the same percentage as maybe throwing a pass. So we'll see what they do. Foster to the left, and Tuggle comes across now, trips to the left as well. Dropping back is Messick, stepping up, has room to run, and I think he'll take it. Needs to go forward. He's not going to make it.
Don't think he made it.
He just missed it. If he would have just taken another step forward, he had it, and it'll be 4th and 1. I think you got to go for it.
You got to go for it.
It's inside the 45. There's no reason to punt.
I mean, if you do punt, let's just play devil's advocate here. If you do punt, pin them within the 5-yard line or so, then you're looking good on defense. But then again, that just gives Barry more time to march up the field, which is what they've been doing, these long, drawn-out drives, aside from 1 or 2 deep threat passes. So, definitely.
Messick, and they're going to get the offside here. And we'll see if it was a false start or an offside. Barry jumped across, and then Trinity moved. But
I think it was on, it looked like it was on Trinity. It looked like the snap.
We'll see what the result is. And Tiger's not looking happy about it.
Looked like it was against Trinity.
I don't understand that one. Trinity didn't move at first, and Barry jumped across. So
they tried the hard count there to get him offside.
See if we can get a look at that one.
I think the line may have moved before the Barry player jumped the line. Now, that happened earlier, and I think they called it against Barry the other time.
So now you punt.
Now you have to punt.
Yeah, because the ball's at midfield at this point. And I will say, this is about the spot of the field.
Yeah, let's see it.
See, right there, he went across, but they're going to say he went straight up and down, and then they're going to get the false start on the guy.
Looked like Garrison Meeks may have jumped a little early there, number 40 on the line for Trinity. May have been the offender on that.
Beautiful spiral punt. Mims will call for the fair catch at the 15, so defense will get a chance to go to work. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Barry when we return. A really nice punt here.
Not an end-all, be-all penalty by all means. You still are within a field goal. Can't lose sight of that, especially with 11:44 on the clock. No reason to panic yet if you're Trinity. Still, you would have liked to have the opportunity to go for it on 4th and 1 or 4th and inches. Maybe a little more than that, but even still manageable.
Looks like it's Adcock back out, or excuse me, still Birchfield, so Adcock not back in, and Dawson to his left is going to lose 2 yards. They haven't called him down yet.
I don't know what the deal is. He looked to be down 15 seconds ago.
Yeah, and if they hadn't called him down yet, then that's just asking for somebody to get injured, because it looked like he had given up on the play, if nothing else. He kept trying to go himself, so that's where everybody came back in.
Don't know where he thought he was going.
Eventually call him down. Sometimes you'll see it, though, where the guy's not officially down, but the pile has kind of stopped moving, and they don't blow it dead. But 2nd and 10 for Birchfield. Pulls it back to pass, now up over the middle, and that's going to be complete to number 10. And that will put Michael Lucky on the reception and into, or excuse me, up to about the 36-yard line. And about a 20-yard reception there. That's really the type of play that has just been killing the defense at this point, because you get good field position and then you give it all right back. So now you're basically one more play away from being in the same spot had you just tried to go for a fake or gone for it.
Yeah, give Birchfield some credit, especially coming off that bench. Came in cold early on, came in the second quarter, led them to that touchdown drive, and then, or rather, I think, no, he did. They scored the touchdown with him in, and then he's back in the game now and marching them up the field. 17-14 Barry, just about 10 minutes left in this one, assuming we don't see any overtime. We're going to have to go over the overtime rules later on just in case we come to that point, but for now.
Birchfield with the handoff. And Stone up ahead. He's going to be about 2 yards short of the first, so mark it 3rd and 2. And to avoid all the overtime talk as we are, because as we approach 5 o'clock and switching over to our next coverage of soccer, we're going to need all the time we can to make sure that we are ready to go over across the lower part of campus here at Trinity. And so we'll just hope for a Trinity touchdown and end it in regulation. That's not too much to ask. And defense looking to do their part here on 3rd and 2. Up block in motion, give to Stone, and that's going to be stuffed at the line. And coming up big on the play was pretty much the entire defensive line, and Campbell Miller there, a big part of it.
Miller celebrating big there, understandably, with a huge stop for Trinity. So look to get the ball back here, down only by that field goal. And with the kicking of Shepard today, you have to imagine that that's a pretty manageable deficit to overcome.
Yeah, Kevon Boudreaux in there with the stop as well.
That kick almost blocked.
And it will roll out of bounds. We'll see officially where it's going to be marked. The official's running down. He's at the 30. Still going. How far is he going to go down? The 23-yard line. So they pretty much
like
say
a poor spot there.
Say that they're pretty much going to say it was inbounds the whole way. So interesting. I thought it might have gone out earlier, maybe up around the 30 from the angle that we had.
25.
But
26 maybe.
So they're going to say up around the 22, 23-yard line. That's where the Tigers take back over. So Messick with Evan McDowell. He has trips to his left. And give to McDowell. trying to break the tackle, and he does a pretty decent job of that, and he's up to the 30, so that'll be a huge chunk of that 1st and 10 gained already by McDowell.
Yeah, he really fought for those extra few yards there, and regardless of the outcome of this game, you can't say that Trinity didn't give it their all. I mean, all these players going all out, McDowell bullying his way through for those extra few yards.
Yeah, and I think games like this and the game that we saw against Hardin Simmons early on in the season, I think give a lot of hope for the program and where Coach Urban's got it. As McDowell skirts free for the 1st down, and he'll be up to the 43-yard line. Tigers will have a 1st and 10 there. I think Coach Urban has really turned the tide on the program. He's also had a big commitment to making sure that the team has done a great job in the classroom. The team GPA has consistently gone up and up every year. I mean, that's a huge, huge thing. We were talking about student athletes earlier. But the team, even if they drop this game to Barry and finish 6-4 again, that'll be 2 great games against top 10 teams. I think it shows that the Tigers are getting very, very close. That one might have been tipped, and it'll be intercepted. And that one could have been tipped or deflected at the line of scrimmage there as he let it go. Devin Greer.
Again.
So Devin Greer. So he's been picked off by both Kevin and Devin Greer. And just floated that one up. So the INT for Messick will put the defense back out onto the field. I like the idea of throwing it deep there. Just not the pass that Messick wanted to throw, and I think he knows it. And
yeah, think of it essentially as a punt, though. I mean, you're basically just accelerating, clock the game, and just putting them back at their own 24. So it's not perfect, but hey, Barry's field position isn't great.
If you're going to throw a pick, better to have a pick be thrown as you throw it deep downfield. As Connors looks to turn the corner, he'll gain about 5. Better to throw it deep downfield and to have an out route be picked and taken back for the pick 6 or something of that nature. So Trinity's been fortunate. They got picked off on a 4th down play, and then they got picked off there on what essentially turned the field, if nothing else. It's unfortunate that the drive came to an end. But the defense has been playing really well. As we mentioned, Barry scoring about 38 points per game coming in. Did put up 61 on Austin College. Both Trinity and Barry kept Austin College off the scoreboard this year, so that was pretty impressive for both defenses. And, we said early on, both of these teams giving up about 15 points per game. You said you expected it to be in the 24-21 range, somewhere of what we saw last year. We're kind of right there again. Last year's game, 24-21 in Rome, Georgia at Barry. Really, this game has lived up to everything that we had hoped it would. And, for Trinity, a team that's 6-3 on the season, still a chance to win and take one away from an undefeated Vikings team. A lot of time still left here. And defense, once again called upon here. 2nd and 4. See if they can get some sort of a stop, possibly a turnover.
Yeah, games like this really give hope to the program. As you said, we'll see if this defense can hold true to itself here. Nice stop.
Dawson is going to be kept at the line of scrimmage. On the tackle was Stargill Shelvin.
And, best case scenario here, Trinity gets the stop, gets the ball back, and really extends a long drive here, gets the touchdown, and then, holds Barry out of the end zone, gets the ball back, and then, is able to run the ball out. Obviously, a lot of wishful thinking there, but that's really the ideal scenario here.
Shelvin earlier this year with a bit of a social media sensation as they brought in the vice president from Dell Computers to tell Shelvin that he'd have a job waiting for him upon graduation, as that one...
Oh, it looked like a helmet. It looked like the flag came down right on the hit.
So,
I don't know if they should be
so
celebrating just yet.
there's a flag back in the area of holding. Now we've got another couple of flags and everything else. We'll sort this one out.
All over the place.
So as we were talking about Shelvin getting a job at Dell, he comes up with the fumble. Take a look at it here. Birchfield looking around.
Looked like the flag
so
on that
he ducks
hit.
his
I
head.
think it was the helmet-to-helmet contact.
So I didn't see the flag come in immediately right there as Birchfield had ducked down. So that caused the fumble. Looks like we might have a hold on the far side, and then a flag comes in late for...
Don't know if it's from the
could be another sideline
yeah.
violation. But I think it was just everybody trying to get all the players off the field. The play is over at that point, so I'm curious from what I've seen there, it shouldn't have been a foul for a sideline violation. The flag back here at the 26-yard line, that was in the area of holding. I don't see anything unless they picked it up around where the ball was.
Yeah, I think there was a flag over there. I think they did get it off the field. And there's a lot of talk over here from all the officials. I mean, we may have seen it differently. I still hold to my statement that I thought the hit by Shelvin on the quarterback looked like helmet-to-helmet contact.
So Shelvin picked up the fumble. It was Cooney, the senior, on the hit, causing the fumble.
We might get offsetting penalties here, too. That's another possibility if that hold was against Barry, which I don't know. I didn't get a good look at it.
If there was a foul on the hit, then it could be offsetting penalties. The one that came in afterwards should be after the play. So what Trinity would do is they would decline the penalty, take the fumble,
and then get that penalty enforced against them.
Barry would have enforcing it against them because it was after the play was over when all those flags came in at the end.
Well, look at this hit. Let's
so you
take
see
it
Cooney
slow-mo.
come in,
See, there's
and
the
Cooney's
helmet.
it's helmet to helmet, but at that point Birchfield's a runner and ducking down, and Selvin easily on the recovery. And I'm not sure what they would have called anywhere else other than maybe a personal foul for taunting or saying something or something of that nature.
Well, if they're discussing...
So Birchfield pushed one of the Tigers there. That's all I saw of it on the tail end. If they rewind it back, might see what happened there. But I believe it was Hover going down.
Well, when they talk for this long, they may just be saying that there's nothing. Because if they were calling the hit and then they're talking about it
So look
now.
at your screen here as somebody, looks like maybe the foul on Barry is the official pulling it up. Can't really tell who that is.
See, it looks like they're about to say something.
16 for Trinity, and the flag comes out immediately right there. So I don't know what was being done, what was being said. We'll see if we can hear anything from the officials here.
Personal fouls this year. Wow. Looks like Soyebo's ejected.
Yeah, so I'm going to see if the booth can pull the replay back real quick, because they're going to say Soyebo was ejected for fighting. And the penalty flag that they called was way over there by where the original play broke down.
But where was he fighting? Because we saw the replay a handful of times.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if it happened early on in the play.
Well, it must have been in the pile. Or you think it was early when let's see.
So we're looking for 27. Roll that back if you guys can in the booth there to the original start of the play where Birchfield escaped. Just keep rolling it back. So there
he's back there. You see him back in the top left. He comes in your screen. See if he shoves number 10 or something. I don't see anything.
It would have been as the play developed, because that flag was way back over there where the original flag was. Just keep rolling it back to the start of the play.
Follow 27.
So go ahead and play it from there. So the flag comes in around here. And right there is where they're going to get him for fighting, trying to get out of the play. That is a terrible call to eject somebody for something of that nature when he's trying to stand up. I'm sorry. I give the officials the benefit of the doubt most of the time. I will say that is an absolute terrible call to say that he stepped on 70 and that was part of his fighting. He's trying to get up.
There it is.
And
he tripped over.
And he gets tripped over. So that's what they've ejected him for.
Do they think he punched him when he was falling down?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
So let's just go back to what actually happened in the play. The fumble is for naught now.
Yeah, so because of that penalty being on Trinity, then the fumble doesn't count.
Yeah.
So it will be first down and 10 from the spot of where the play basically began. And now the umpire's going to start throwing more flags. They're going to try to make up for it. This one's gotten out of hand.
And this is really the most deflating thing that could have happened at Trinity. And it's really out of their control. And you can hear the crowd really vocal about their displeasure with the officials. I don't know what they're calling here. Look like they made maybe a makeup call or something.
Yeah, I just think that it's an absolute shame to do a makeup call when you've ejected somebody out of the game.
I don't know how you kick him out of the game though. I mean that's a little.
So the rule is, if you think that the guy is fighting, he is ejected. So I mean they've enforced it correctly.
Well, they could have just but
why
call fighting and not unsportsmanlike conduct?
For the fact that they called fighting on it, with the looks that we had for that, it just did not seem like that was anywhere close.
And they took so long to discuss it. I mean, that's the other thing. They were over there talking about it for a few minutes, and that was the conclusion they came up with. Man, these refs are going to need some security escorts out of this place because these fans are not happy. And, this is really a shame because Trinity has been playing a really good football game, and even on that play.
It's been a really good
great
football game
for both
teams. And it's just a sad situation to see it kind of fall apart on that type of a play. I think anytime you get to the point where you're going to throw somebody out, I think you should be very, very certain of what transpired. And I think looking back at the replay, I didn't see anything that'd be that type of a situation. Now Connor trying to break free. What a hurdle! My goodness. Get a look at that hurdle again because he went airborne, gained an extra 2 yards on that. Fantastic individual effort.
With that penalty against Barry, that holding call they just made, that really helped Trinity get him back. There's still time for them to get this stop, especially given the situation now for Barry. So really the game isn't over still. And, honestly, Trinity's defense, let's see.
Did you get a good look at Connors here? Cuts back. And with the hurdle there, gains an extra 2 or 3 yards. Jumping back to live action, Connors tried to go to the left and was swallowed up immediately by the Tigers. Get a good look at it here. That was the hurdle from the play before. The play that we missed in the replay was just a run to the left. Didn't really transpire anywhere, and that will bring up 3rd and 13 as the scoreboard will catch up with us shortly.
Well, good on you for noticing where the call was on the Soyebo ejection because we were all looking in the pile over there.
Birchfield
down here.
And play clock at 0, so this will be a 5-yard penalty on Barry for delay of game. And 3:33 to play. We've got a 3-point game here, and Barry facing a 3rd and 18.
So if they don't call that penalty against Soyebo, then I think Trinity did recover that fumble.
Yeah, Trinity would have recovered the fumble.
But there was another penalty, but that was against
And the penalty
Barry,
would have been on Barry for just pulling somebody off the pile, which I saw the end result of the play. I saw a Trinity defender going back. I didn't see anybody pull the Trinity defender off the pile, but that you saw the flags come in for that one from about 3 or 4 different officials all at once. But huge play, 3rd and 17. Birchfield drops back, looking over the middle, has it intercepted. And down to the ground for the Tigers, Christian Mata. And that'll be just as good as a punt return. But a huge play. It sets up Trinity just around midfield. Down 3. 3 minutes to play.
And I'm not sure where that play just went downhill, but that was really a disastrous throw over the head of the receiver. Nowhere close to the intended target. And really all Mata had to do was just make that catch. I mean, nothing special there. Just right into his hands.
Yeah, great job by Mata. Just sort of being that center field deep safety right there, and it just rolled right to him. They were looking for Kinsey, and it wasn't a bad play call. I think the ball just got away from Birchfield. Now Jay Foster looking around. He's going to get swallowed up. And on the play with the tackle, number 28 for the Vikings, Brandon Palmer, meeting Jay Foster right there in the backfield. 2nd and 11. They're going to give the forward progress to Foster.
Time ticking away here. Just about 2 minutes and 45 seconds left in this one. So this drive is really what's going to make this game or break it one way or the other.
You get a good look at the fumble there. And you see Sayebo up at the top of the corner, and running to midfield is Messick. So 3rd and 8 from the 50. And 2 minutes, 20 seconds to play. Definitely in 4-down territory. So if Trinity can get a run here and gain about 4 or 5 yards, it could really set them up nicely for a 4th down play.
Yeah, and here's the future dilemma. If you get within field goal range and you have a 4th and 1, 4th and 2, you just say screw it and go for it, trying to beat Barry rather than taking them to overtime where you don't know what's going to happen.
Trinity already showing that they would go for the big points early on. Now Messick has Tommy Levine, all the way to the 25. A 25-yard reception. And right now the Tigers are in that field goal range, so the possibility of taking the game to overtime, as Levine coming up a little bit shaky. I think he might have just had a hamstring, as Evan McDowell's quickly there to help out. As you get a good look at the replay, and at the very end there, you saw him just kind of like kick his leg out, that like maybe just a little cramp or something. Had athletic trainer Mark Powell out there quickly to, if it is cramp, help stretch that out and get Levine back out there. 25-yard reception. You know, he hasn't been called upon very often, but he's got 3 catches for 47 yards.
And that 2-point conversion.
And the 2-point conversion. And I'd say that those last 2 catches he's had has been huge for the Tigers. 22-yard gain and a 25, or I guess they're going to officially say this one's 24, because he had a 1-yard catch early on.
And he's been blocking well downfield. We talked about some of those big plays from Stewart and McDowell that have been largely due to the fact that Levine has been downfield blocking pretty well.
Minute 40, the clock is running.
And this is one of the best Trinity football games I've ever seen in terms of just entertainment value.
Messick with McDowell, has 2 receivers to his right, drops back, now looks to run, escapes the blitz early on. He's going to gain about 3 yards, and Barry is able to get him down onto the turf. So it'll bring up a 2nd and 6, and I believe that was Josh Knight, senior defensive lineman, making the stop. So 2nd and 6, 2nd and 7, somewhere around that range.
If you do get the field goal, though, I mean, you have to worry about Barry having like 30 seconds left on the clock and those timeouts to bring the ball down the field themselves and kick a game-winning field goal or get that touchdown to end it. So really have to manage the clock well here.
Messick, he looked to try to go towards the end zone, pulls it back, starts to run. Now the separation for Tuggle, that's up and in. Touchdown for Trinity! Messick to Tuggle, and the Tigers have the lead with under a minute to play.
And the crowd is going absolutely wild for good reason. Let's get another look at that impressive touchdown in the back of the end zone. Messick with enough time to get that one off.
Peyton Tuggle just goes
and it
up
like there could have been
over.
Interference.
Could have been called, but I don't think we're going to see it today. But Peyton Tuggle, as we said, you just got to play through it, and he does. 20-17 Tigers.
You got to make this extra point here.
Shepard with a 42-yard field goal on the day. The extra points, a chip shot, and it is a 4-point lead for Trinity. That's huge, as you mentioned, because now it forces Barry to score a touchdown to win.
What an impressive effort from the Tigers.
One more look here as Messick looked like he tried to go deep to his left. He had Levine over that way, decides to go back to the right. And that is a fantastic individual effort from Peyton Tuggle on the catch.
I couldn't tell if his feet were in when he had possession of it, but I mean, they must have been. He landed, I guess, he landed in that corner there, so it was kind of a hard view, especially with the line kind of blending in to the turf. But for 49 seconds, I mean, this one, as much as you'd like to believe it's over, it still isn't. And especially with those 3 timeouts remaining, anything can happen in the final 49 seconds.
You mentioned, because with 53 seconds, Trinity was able to march down for a field goal. Now, a little bit different situation here as Barry needs the touchdown. You know, Trinity's not going to be playing 10 guys up in the box anymore, so they're going to have the safeties deep. You're not going to see that touchdown pass over the top to Kinsey like you did early on in the game.
And just a great resilient effort from Trinity after that really, I mean, I'm just going to flat out say, just an awful call against Soyebo.
That one kicked short. And a little bit of confusion for Barry, and they still don't know who's going to take it. Ultimately, it's going to be taken by Jake Whitecamp, and that almost ended the game.
They almost fumbled the ball.
They almost fumbled it right there.
I don't know how you make that sort of mistake, especially being a 9-0 team. So much confusion. Someone just needs to call the football. I mean, both of them let go at the same time. Boom, you're right, it's over. Trinity's there, pick it up. And the crowd really needs to get into it now for Trinity.
So Birchfield on for Barry in the backfield. Drops back, and this play is going to be dead before it starts. I believe false start or timeout Trinity. So second charge timeout for the Tigers. Remember, Barry's got 3 timeouts.
Still 43 seconds? I don't know if they're going to put some time back on there. They probably should.
The official drive start is at 45 seconds, so you're right. They should put back 2 seconds. And the official now getting the word.
Yep, there it is.
So 45 seconds on the clock.
And, I mean, if you tuned into this game, you should be proud of yourself. And what an absolutely amazing way to spend your Saturday early afternoon. Barry marked at the 32-yard line. I mean, still plenty of turf to make up here for them to come back and score.
Birchfield pumps, pulls it down, starts to run. He's going to try to take off towards the sideline, and he gets out. He'll gain about 8. The yards don't matter at this point. They just need to get down the field before the clock expires.
And the good thing about the position Trinity's in now is as you get closer and closer to the clock hitting 0, I mean, he's going to make riskier and riskier throws. And when you start seeing that, especially with how good Trinity's secondary has been, you might see a game-ending interception. And in which case, the crowd would go absolutely bonkers.
3 interceptions on the day so far for the Tigers already.
And that last one from Mata, absolutely huge.
Birchfield drops back. He's got a touchdown on the day so far. Finds Connors. Connors able to get out and staying around midfield. Might have gained an extra yard. Let's see. No, they call him out right at midfield.
So about exactly the 50-yard line here. Let's see.
So a nice job by Connors here, just staying open in the flat and then able to get out of bounds. That stops the clock, 32 seconds to play.
And you talk about Kinsey having both of their touchdowns. I mean, Connors has been arguably the biggest factor in their offense all day.
Connors both running the ball, 13 attempts for 77 yards, and he also has 4 receptions for 47 yards. Birchfield looking to his right and has number 10, and that's Michael Lucky. And that'll be another first down, which is important because it stops the clock momentarily for the chains to move. So 40 yards needed for Barry.
They're going to spike it here.
As Birchfield took a shot there. They play and dumped off and just he was halfway in between wanting to throw it, and it might have slipped out of his hands. He was looking for Connors. Didn't quite hit it.
Probably better for them that it was incomplete. He would have had to take a few steps to get that one out of bounds. Would have wasted a few more seconds, and every second is valuable here.
11 seconds. You probably see them throw it deep. If nothing else, you got to probably pick up about 15 to 20 yards on whatever completion you can get. They do have timeouts available, so look for them to still be able to play over the middle of the field.
And if Barry loses 9-1, they still make the playoffs, I believe, in SAA. So
still have the automatic berth to the playoffs. That one over the middle. Lucky again. He's down to the 20. Timeout for Barry. And 6 seconds to play. It's going to come down to a final play.
Could be
all or
plays.
Nothing for Barry. You're right. They might be able to get 2. I think they're probably going to get 1. I mean, you get 2 if it's a bad snap or something, and you can immediately fall on it and call a timeout, but it's going to take a few seconds for everybody to run down and get into the end zone. So a perfect season on the line for Barry, and it all comes down to basically 1 play left. And on the line, potential undefeated regular season. This would drop them down into a tie situation with Barry. Now with Center. They did beat Center this year earlier in overtime, and that's going to give them the automatic berth into the playoffs. That game looms large now because Center would then basically share a regular season title with Barry, both going 8-1 in conference, 7-1 in conference. And so 6 seconds left. They've had outstanding success over the middle. They've had Lucky coming up big on this one. Kennemore has had some fantastic catches throughout the day. You've got Kinsey, who has caught 2 touchdowns already.
I think you look back right corner of the end zone. I think it might be Lucky again that they go after.
They've got Teresi on the right.
All comes down
Kinsey in the slot, Lucky to the left, and lining up also was TJ Watkins, the freshman, on the far left side. Now, we haven't seen Watkins very much at all, and I didn't see Kennemore out there at all on that final play.
Yeah, interesting that we don't see him out there. Might elect to have, an extra blocker, so I'm not sure what they're doing, because they do really need to get more protection for their quarterback to even get the throw off in the first place.
Again, we'd like to remind you, in about an hour and a half, we will have the kickoff of the men's first-round NCAA soccer match. You can catch that one right here on Tiger Network. 6 seconds to play for Barry. Trinity 21-17. Peyton Tuggle with the touchdown catch moments ago to put Trinity in the lead for the first time.
So we'll see where they go, or
here in the second half. So
they could do a short pass, start doing a bunch of laterals. Have all sorts of pandemonium toward the end zone.
So Watkins to the far left. Birchfield's going to go to Watkins, and it's over his head. No time left, and that is it. Trinity has upended Barry 21-17. They will finish 7-3 on the season, and Barry 9-1 as they head into the playoffs.
That was a very catchable ball. They are fortunate he did not catch that, because I think he had room to take that to the back of the end zone.
Could have had a lot of room there, but what a job by the seniors here on Senior Day for Trinity. They will treasure this one. Didn't make the postseason here, but they finished 7-3. A fantastic season. They lost to a ranked team, had 2 close conference games, lost by 3 on the final play of the game to start the conference action this year, and then lost on the road by 5 to a team that will tie for the number 1 spot in Center. And for Barry, a fantastic game. We wish them a lot of success here in the postseason, representing the SAA, and hopefully they can overcome this loss and turn that into a run of victories and see how far they can get down into the postseason. So wish them well, but thank you for tuning in and joining us here on Tiger Network. We hate to be short with it, but we're going to turn this off and start to begin our coverage for men's soccer postseason. So thank you to everybody for following us all season long here on Tiger Football. We'll be back with you again in 2019 if you're only interested in the gridiron. But if you're interested in all the other activities we have soccer today and tomorrow, and then we start basketball on Monday and Wednesday. So thank you again for joining us here on Tiger Network, and have a great rest of the afternoon.